Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
From noon all the way until midnight. Awesome ball this Saturday. Just a great slate of games. I'm Jason Hammer. I do the Hammer and Nigel show in Indianapolis. Former casino marketing extraordinaire. We made the most money of any casino in the state of Indiana when I ran the marketing, Rob. Rob Kendall, on the other hand, he is a tax-cutting machine, a former elected official, and a top-rated radio host in his own right.
And first place on this show, Bubba.
For college football, you are in first place.
Oh, I thought this was a college football show.
It is, but we also do an NFL show. It's like having the best record in conference, but you didn't win any out-of-conference games. So pick and choose where you want to do your victory lap.
This is the only show I try on, and the show I try on, I'm in first place.
So listen to this slate. At noon, number 10, LSU. At number 17, Vandy.
Ooh,
3:30.
Little guy.
Number 5, Ole Miss. At number 9, Georgia. That's our game of the week. 7:30 p.m. Third Saturday in October. Number 11, Tennessee. At number 6, Bama. 7:30, South Bend. Great rivalry. Number 20, USC. At number 13, Notre Dame. And then 8 o'clock, the Holy War. Number 23, Utah. At number 15, BYU. We have got good ball from noon kickoff all the way to midnight, Rob.
Yeah, isn't it weird how some weeks it's like they're just all turds and there's nothing you're fired up about, and then some weeks you just get all the games, like it's just from start to finish. That's this Saturday.
It's like an elimination weekend in the SEC. Ole Miss and Georgia, Tennessee, Bama, LSU, and Vandy. Now, Ole Miss can probably still lose one and still feel like they got a puncher's chance here. But Georgia, already one loss. Tennessee and Bama, each of them have one loss. LSU and Vandy, this is going to be an elimination game for somebody, especially if it's Tennessee that loses in that Tennessee and Bama game, because then, yes, in theory, they could get in with 2 losses. They did a year ago, but you don't have tiebreak on Georgia, and you wouldn't have tiebreak on Bama. It's awful tough. So let's get into the game of the week, though. The Fighting Lane Kiffins making their way between the hedges. Ole Miss at Georgia. Georgia is a 7.5-point home favorite. Over under right around 54.5.
All right, games at Georgia. Am I right on that?
That is correct.
Georgia, that's correct. So they're going to be fired up. Lane Kiffin sucks. He's a rotten coach, and he's a rotten person.
You're not in on the Lane train because a lot of people dig Lane Kiffin.
No, I'm not. I don't know. Anyway, that means Ole Miss has got to get 2 touchdowns. Okay, so I looked at the totals, and then looked at the spread. The spread's 7.5. And I don't think Ole Miss is all that good, but I don't know if they're that bad to lose by more than a touchdown. So I said, okay. And I didn't like the over-under. I think it was like 53.5, and I don't know with that. Because
it's up to 54 now.
Yeah, Georgia's defense is all right. So I said, well, what else can we look at? Let's shake it up here a little bit. And what I saw was Ole Miss over-under 10.5 in the first half, total points. And so I thought, that means Ole Miss has to get either 2 touchdowns or a touchdown and 2 field goals. You got that hook there, right?
Right. 10.5 basically is 11, which is a dead number. So you're probably looking at 12, 13.
Yeah, you're probably not going for 2 that early in the game. So you got to get three scores or 2 touchdowns, right? Georgia did well in the first half against Auburn last game. Got to pick something. I'll go Ole Miss under 10.5 in the first half.
Oh, okay. So first half play, Ole Miss under 10.5. Is that right?
That's right. That's correct.
All right, I like it. I like the way you think. You know what? I'm going to disagree with you. A lot of people love Lane Kiffin. A lot of people think he's charismatic. He's brash. He's got a hot daughter. He's got a hot ex-wife that he's now back together with again. A lot of people love Lane Kiffin. But I'm not one of them either. I don't care if Penn State goes knocking, Florida goes knocking on his door. To me, he'll always be the little needle wiener that left Knoxville after 1 year. Okay? Went on national television calling recruits to tell them not to go to Tennessee. So when he got blown out and fired and humiliated at USC, it made my cold, dark heart smile. So this brings me to the Georgia Bulldogs, Rob. And we haven't done this in a while. It's time to play America's fastest-growing game sensation. How will Georgia screw me? Because twice this year, Rob, I've hitched my wagon to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yep.
And they've took big hot crap right on my chest.
But here's the thing. You're coming on the heels of finally getting one over on Row Your Boat Guy. So
Yes.
you're due.
I slayed the dragon that was Row the Boat Guy in Minnesota last week. And now I'm looking at you, Georgia Bulldogs. Ole Miss, to me, has always been like the Penn State of the SEC.
Yeah.
They get out to this great start. Well, maybe not this year for Penn State, but traditionally they get out to this great start. Oh, look out. Here comes Penn State. Big game James. They're going to beat Ohio State this year. And then they end up losing like 2 or 3 games before it's all said and done. Make a good bowl game. Maybe make the conference championship game, but they're never that team.
That's right.
They're never that team. And that's Ole Miss. Oh, look out. Here comes Jackson Dart, Lane Kiffin. Here they are. And all they had to do was beat an ass Florida team last year to go to the playoff, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's with a much better Ole Miss team. So I'm on Georgia here. I can't see how the Georgia Bulldogs are going to lose 2 big home games because they got beat earlier this year by Alabama. And I just don't see them losing 2 in a row down in Georgia. I think they're going to be more physical. I think they're going to come out and try to punch Lane Kiffin in the mouth, which means I fully anticipate being screwed by Georgia once again. But I'm going with them dogs, -7.5. I'm going to bark at somebody this weekend just to try to get some mojo going. Lay the 7.5 with Georgia. All right, Rob, you've got a lot of great games to choose from here. Are you going to continue the Notre Dame heater that you've been on?
Yeah, we're riding the Notre Dame Lightning. So the past 2 weeks, I've let my broadcast partner, Casey Daniels, because she lived in South Bend for many years, season ticket holder at Notre Dame. I said, we gotta get something going here. And so I've let her pick the Notre Dame game. She's 2 for 2.
She's like an insider for the Irish.
Hey, you can't.
You've got inside info.
That's right.
This is like insider trading. I'm going to call you Pelosi.
Call me Phil Mickelson, baby.
Phil Mickelson and Nancy Pelosi are sitting right across from me.
So I said, Casey, I'll turn it over to you. Look, that spread was 7.5 to start the week. It is up to 9.5 now. And look, I think Notre Dame's going to win, but I don't know if they win by 10 points. And I would go with whatever she said, but she agreed. She likes the over. We're going to go over 61.5.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a big number. But both of these teams have combined to go over 61.5 in 4 of their 6 games. Now, I'm a little worried about this, and I don't want to mansplain to her how much better Notre Dame's defense has been the past few weeks. But in fairness, they're playing Boise State and North Carolina State. So we don't know if their defense is any good. Let's hope it's not. Let's hope for 62 points.
That's a big, big number, but you're going over in that one, correct?
That's correct.
Over? Did you say over?
Yes, and nothing is over until Rob says it is. All right. I normally am hesitant to pick a Tennessee Vols game, right? Because I am a Tennessee Vol guy.
Yeah, it ruins the game.
Kind of ruins the game. But this is a show about making money, okay? I'm looking at the line here. Bama is about an 8-point favorite here, 8.5. The over-under, though, is at 58.5. I'm going to take a look at this total here. 9 of the last 10 Tennessee games, the total's gone over. And with the exception of what took place last year in Knoxville, and I was there to witness that firsthand, when Nico Iamaleava played like ass, but that amazing Tennessee defense loaded with NFL talent stepped up to the plate and won that game for Tennessee.
And then he took his ass to UCLA.
Right. He was shopping himself the whole time. You want to talk about insider trading. How about that guy? Normally, these teams put up some big numbers when they play each other. Tennessee's defense this year, not good. Not good at all. And ever since that opening night beatdown at the hands of the Seminoles, Alabama's quarterback, Simpson, he's been really good. And that Bama passing attack is really good. Tennessee's passing defense stinks. But Tennessee's passing offense, really good too. I think both of these teams are going to move the football here, and I'm going to ride the Lightning and go over 58.5 with Tennessee at Alabama. I'm captain over.
Gentlemen, I'd like you to meet your captain, Captain Over.
Gentlemen, welcome aboard.
Captain, your navigator, Mr. Unger, and your first officer, Mr. Dunn.
Unger?
Over.
Over? Done.
All right, coming up here in just a little bit, Rob's going to get nuts. I've got a degenerate special, but up next, our professional handicappers are going to weigh in. We're going to find out their thoughts on Ole Miss at Georgia, and then they get to pick any other game on the board. They're giving these picks to you for free because that's the way we do things here on the Degenerates Next Door. Kenny Britt of KB Sports, David Stephanoff. Follow at neverfade.com. They're next. Big weekend of college ball here on the Degenerates Next Door. I'm Jason Hammer, Rob Kendall right across from me. We are not professional handicappers, but our friends are. And we bring them on this program, and they give us some free plays. Kenny Britt of KB Sports, one of our favorite pro handicappers. And Kenny, was there a line out about whether or not big game James Franklin would make it to the end of the season? Did we have any odds on that?
I'll tell you what, man. We talk about him all the time, and if there were odds, I think all four of us would have been on, on this. I want to apologize for last week that I gave out Penn State on this show. I gave them to my clients, and I'm just going to be honest. That was bad handicapping. And I don't say that very often. A lot of times when we lose a game, it was still, we was on the right side. Something happened in that game, that, we didn't foresee. This, I was just wrong. And it was terrible. I watched the game. Northwestern was just better prepared, better. They were faster. They were everything. So it was embarrassing. So I apologize for giving out that game last week, but it did cost James Franklin his job. And I think we've got a clip of the athletic director calling James Franklin, don't we?
Yes, this was from my inside sources in Happy Valley. They had a camera inside the office. Take a listen.
Step into my office.
Why?
Because you're f***ing fired.
That's exclusive audio you'll only hear here on the Degenerates Next Door, Kenny.
Yes, and that was a very short conversation. The AD actually said that part of the reasoning behind it was his big game record, which is, I want to say 2-11 maybe, or something like that.
And I kind of got mixed feelings here because for all, things laid out here, he seems like a nice guy. Like, he's not a prick. He seems like he's a nice guy. He tries to be positive. But at the same time, dude is making more money than any of us are ever going to see in our lifetimes, even if we pulled it together. So I get it. So I'm a little conflicted here. Seems like a good dude, but at the same time, you're getting paid big-ass boy money, and this is the business.
Yeah, and, I've talked about it before that I'm one of those guys that be careful what you wish for. I don't think Gundy should have been fired. I think Oklahoma State's going to struggle for a long time without him. All the talk with Dabo, there's no way Dabo should be going anywhere. This one, I'm like you. I'm torn. Seems like a good guy, but the bottom line, kind of like Tom Crean back with IU, he couldn't win the big game, and there's certain schools you've got to, and that's your job.
And in the Big Ten right now, Kenny, look at who is winning. It's not nice guys. It's cocky, arrogant pricks. It's Ryan Day and it's Kurt Signetti.
Right, exactly, and he just didn't get the job done. And there are certain schools where, Ryan Day could win a Big Ten or a national championship, but if he doesn't beat Michigan, he might get fired.
Right,
just because of how important that is. So I'm like you, I'm torn, but I think it was inevitable, and that was the same team that made the playoffs last year.
Really, other than Tyler Warren, they ran it back, and boy, they just were on the struggle bus. And now, before we get into our picks for today, Penn State, it's one of those programs similar to what we see here with IU basketball. I think people might view the program bigger than what it actually is right now, but they were a preseason number 2 in America before falling on hard times. You've got one of the biggest stadiums in America, boosters that are willing to spend money. They're going to poach somebody else's coach. The question is, who's it going to be?
Yeah, let's pray he doesn't come from Bloomington. Let's just pray that. It's funny you mentioned preseason number 2. Me and you don't talk before this phone call. I had something real quick I wanted to go over. This is the midpoint of college football season. I cannot believe we're saying that, but it's half over already. How hard is it to handicap college football? Real quick, Jason. Number 1 preseason. I got the poll in front of me. Texas, Arch Manning, top candidate for the Heisman Trophy. How are they doing?
They are on the struggle bus, but they did have a big win against Oklahoma.
They did. Number 2 preseason, Penn State. How are they doing?
Ass.
Number 4, Clemson. How are they doing?
Ass.
And I can keep going. Arizona State, Illinois, South Carolina, Florida, SMU, Kansas State, Iowa State, Boise State. 11 teams in the preseason top 25. Ass. And that's how hard this is. In college football, I've been doing this almost my whole life. This year has been worse than any year I can remember in the last 10 as far as how bad it's been for the betting public. Maybe you've got something to say about that. But
well, this weekend, Kenny,
year.
This weekend, I think we're looking at elimination weekend in the SEC because a lot of these teams have one loss and they're playing against each other. Tiebreakers are on the line. The Vols at Alabama. If Tennessee loses, they are eliminated. Now, if Alabama loses, they could still somehow make it in with 2 losses because they did beat Georgia. But with Tennessee having already lost to Georgia, this is an elimination game for them. LSU and Vanderbilt. Vandy been above what expectations were. LSU maybe a step below. I feel like this is an elimination game. And our game of the week here, number 5, Ole Miss at Georgia. Now, Ole Miss comes in here unbeaten, but the schedule hasn't been all that daunting. It picks up a notch this week when they travel between the hedges. Georgia, 7.5-point home favorite. I'm finding the number over under right around 54.5.
Yeah, this is the meat of the schedule in the SEC where they just beat each other up every freaking week. I will stand on my mountain and die saying that a 9-3 SEC team is almost always better than an 11-1 ACC team, just simply because of week in and week out, it's punishing these SEC games. This game that's our game of the week, Mississippi, they still got their backup quarterback who hasn't played bad. But I don't know. They were at home against LSU. They scored 24 points. And I don't think LSU played that well. Georgia, I think that Georgia is going to be ready for this game. I think they're going to be big time ready for this game. And I checked. I wanted to confirm this with you. I don't think there's any Georgia players dating Lane Kiffin's other daughter at USC. Is that correct?
That is correct, but you got to keep in mind, Kenny, it's Georgia, so there's plenty enough time for them to get arrested before kickoff.
Yes, I'm going 90 miles an hour on the interstate. Correct. So without any further ado, my play on this game, Jason, is going to be Mississippi under 23.5 total points for the team. You can get that for minus 125. If they only scored 24 at home against a good LSU defense, I think they're going to struggle scoring at Georgia this week. So I'm on the team total under 23.5 on Mississippi.
All right. So we've got that one. Now, you can pick any other game on the board. Could be a good matchup, could be a degenerate level matchup. We're just looking for some dollar signs here. What do you got?
Yeah, this one won't take long. SMU Clemson, they played in the ACC championship game last year. I actually remember this game because it was my 10-star lock of the year on the over, and they scored 60-some points. It's 54.5 right now. It's the same team, same quarterbacks. I mean, there's a few players here or there, but it's the same quarterbacks, same systems. Jennings and Klubnik. I don't see how this doesn't go over 54.5. I love Clemson SMU over 54.5 Saturday. That's gonna be a really good game. It was two teams preseason ranked in the top 15. They had both of them had a little bit of struggle, but they're both coming back, and I love this game to go over, Jason. Over 54.5, Clemson SMU.
And we've also got Ole Miss under 23.5 on that team total. Kenny, if somebody wants to become a client of yours, whether it's NFL, whether it's horse racing, we got the big Breeders' Cup coming up. We got some baseball World Series action right around the corner. Where can they go?
Yeah, Facebook on KB Sports. Like Jason said, we got the Breeders' Cup coming up in 2 weekends. We got basketball, college, and NBA starts in 6 days, baseball, football. So you can find me on KB Sports. And the SEC schedule this weekend, just take a look at it for a minute. It's brutal. So take a look at it. But let's all beat the bookies this weekend, guys. We all need to have a big weekend.
I'm with you, brother. We'll talk again Thursday when we do the big NFL extravaganza.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
We go from one pro handicapper to another one. Our pal, David Stephanoff. Follow neverfade.com. That's the place where you can find him. Also, all over social media, passing out free plays. He's the handicapper of the people. David, how are you?
Thank you, Hammer, for having me. Handicapper of the people. Not too good on college football here on the show. Pretty good on the NFL, but hoping to have a bounce back week. The degenerates have a winning record so far in college, so we should be okay.
So let's get down to business here. Let's get a win on the board for you. The big game: Ole Miss at Georgia, number 5 at number 9. Georgia 7.5 point home favorite. And the over-under right around 54.5. David, looking at those numbers, do they do anything for you, or do you have another path that can get us some money?
Well, we talked about it, I think, in our lower degenerate group chat earlier, early in the week on the line. This line was like 3.5, 4 early in the week, shot up to 7.5 now. I think this is Georgia's. Every game out is Georgia's biggest game of the year. They probably cannot afford to lose another game the rest of the way out. Ole Miss, they've been struggling lately. They let a horrible Washington State team beat them almost for about 50 of the 60 minutes they played last week. The total here scares me. I think that when a total like this looks like it could go under, Hammer. I'm leaning here with Georgia and Kirby Smart. These guys, they need to win. They need to win big time. They have to. Kirby Smart, Georgia, they haven't played consistent football. They shouldn't have won last week with Auburn. That was a horrible call by the referees. Auburn should have been up 16, 19 points there. But I think Georgia's going to come out here early and often on Mississippi, and I'm going to take a Georgia -4 first half over Ole Miss as my play.
Okay, so the first half, Georgia -4. We are going to lock that one in. And now, David, you can pick any other game on the board. It's a good slate of games this weekend. Where are we headed?
Okay, I'm going to head out to the desert in Tempe, Arizona. Arizona State playing Texas Tech. Texas Tech's been a machine so far this year. Everybody they put in front of them, they've pretty much handled. This game is right now. Arizona State's getting anywhere from 9.5 to 10 points. Arizona State lost to Utah last week, but they're missing their quarterback. Sam Levitt's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I think he's definitely coming back this week. He's already been practicing all week. Arizona State's getting 9.5, 10 points at home versus Texas Tech. I know Texas Tech, like I said, they've been a monster, 7th in the country. I think Arizona State keeps this close. I think it's an under game. Not a lot of points coming here because Arizona State does play great defense. Sam Levitt have a full week of practice under him. We're going to go with the Sun Devils of Arizona State +10 at home versus Texas Tech, and I really believe if they cover the spread, they can knock Texas Tech off.
All right, so we are riding the Sun Devils here, catching 10, and Georgia -4 in the first half. David, if somebody wants to become a client of yours for college football, the NFL, your wheelhouse, college basketball, which is right around the corner, where can we go?
Hey, follow me everywhere, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. This week and this week only, people, I've got a special. My college football play of the year goes Saturday evening. My college football play of the year Saturday evening. If it loses, you get football, college and NFL for the rest of the year for free. We cashed last year's play with BYU. We're going to cash this year's play. Message regularly, sign up. We're everywhere. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and that's right, Hammer. College basketball is about 2 weeks away. NBA is less than a week away, Hammer. Aren't you excited for our Pacers? And let's have a great week. Look to everybody out there. Shout out to KB, Kenny Britt. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to the captain of the ship, Jason Hammer. Thank you for all you do. And don't forget to follow Never Fade.
All right. We're not done. We've got a degenerate special. We're going to get nuts. And then we'll put a little bow on this bad boy. Come on back. More plays from us. We are the Degenerates Next Door. Back on the Degenerates Next Door. All right. It's a big weekend. Lots of great games. It's such an incredible slate of games, specifically in the SEC. Elimination weekend in the SEC. But you know what? The money you can win in the MAC spends the exact same. Cue up the band. It's time for a Degenerate Special.
It's time for Hammer's Degenerate Special.
You guys go ahead and watch Ole Miss and Georgia. Who cares about that third Saturday in October down in Tuscaloosa? I'm turning my attention to Toledo, Ohio. Kent State at Toledo. Now, I don't know if we've ever said this on this program. We've been doing this for almost 2 years now. Kent State coming in on a win against a FBS opponent. Kent State has won 2 games this year. The first one was against Little Sisters of the Poor, which they didn't cover. We won that in a previous Degenerate Special. But last week, they took it to UMass. And again, you can't spell mass without A-S-S. Ass. And that's what they were. And Kent State put it on them. And now, here's Toledo. Toledo's at home. They got a 500 record. But honestly, Toledo's defense, one of the best in the country. 13th in the nation. And number 4 against the pass. So, if you're telling me Kent State is going to have a hard time scoring, I can't see them sticking around very long in this game. It's a big number. Toledo's at home. They're 26-point favorites. I am going to lay the 26.
Wow.
I don't know how many points Kent State is going to score, but as long as Toledo takes this game seriously and they don't turn the ball over recklessly on offense, Kent State's going to have a hard time scoring. So we're going to lay the 26. Toledo over Kent. That is your Degenerate Special. Now, Rob,
yes.
I'll throw the ball back to you with a serious question. Are you ready to get nuts?
All right. Want to get nuts? Come on.
Let's get nuts! Now you want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts, kid. What do you got?
Can I just say, I wouldn't watch that Toledo-Kent State game if you paid me $20 and you picked it for this show. I love that so much.
Minus 26.
I love it.
Let's go Rockets.
The research you did on that is amazing. All right, so let's get nuts. We usually do themes with our little closing segment here, and today's Let's Get Nuts. It's the pick all the favorites to win the whole thing, Winter Wonderland.
Oh, okay. So break it down for me. What are we doing?
What we got is if you pick we're picking football and basketball to entertain yourself throughout the rest of the winter. So we're going to pick the national champion for college football and college basketball, and we're going to pick the winner for the NFL and NBA championships.
Let's go.
You could run all winter long if these hit in a parlay. Are you ready for this, Hammer?
Let's do it.
All right, in the NFL, we got and these, by the way, these are the current favorites, odds-on favorites to win their respective championship. You got the Chiefs at plus 650 to win the Super Bowl. Ohio State plus 320 to win the national championship in football. Purdue at plus 900 to win the national championship in basketball. And Oklahoma City plus 200 to win the NBA championship. Now, those may not sound like a lot individually, Hammer, but if you put them all together in a parlay, it's 944 to 1.
Let's go.
That means a $10 bet would pay you $9,444.
All right. Want to get nuts? Come on.
Let's get nuts! Now you want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
So let's say you hit the first 3. Let's say that Ohio State wins college football championship and the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl. And somehow Matt Painter breaks through and finally cuts down the nets and hangs a banner in Mackey Arena.
Yeah.
How much pins and needles are you sitting on? How much do you consider cashing out before Oklahoma City?
Well, remember, I had the Pacers at 125-1 to win the championship, and we had a Game 7, and everybody was like, you should cash out. I was like, oh, heck no. I came here to win money and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Let's
and you know what? Now I'm all out of money. Of course I'm cashing out. I'm out of here. I don't care if it's a $3 buyout. I'm out.
Let's recap the board here. I am on the Georgia Bulldogs. Who's that coming down the track? That mean machine in the red and black. I feel sick just saying that, but I'm going to lay 7.5 because that's how much I despise Lane Kiffin. Tennessee and Bama, third Saturday in October. Looking for some offense here. We're going to go over 58.5, and your degenerate special, Toledo, minus 26 against Kent State, who comes in with momentum. That's why I'm on Toledo, Rob. Nobody's looking past Kent State anymore.
Yeah, I think Lane Kiffin sucks, and he's a loser. I'm going Ole Miss under 10.5 in the first half. Casey thinks it's going to be a scoring fest, so we'll take Notre Dame, USC over 61.5 points. And in your degenerate or your Let's Get Nuts, Chiefs plus 650, Ohio State plus 320, Purdue plus 900, Oklahoma City plus 200, 944-1 to win all the respective championships this winter.
Our pro handicappers, Kenny Britt of KB Sports, Ole Miss, team total under 23.5, full game. And then the over in SMU and Clemson, 54.5. David Stephanoff, follow at neverfade.com. Georgia, -4 first half. And Arizona State, plus 10. Those are the plays from your friendly pals here at the Degenerates Next Door. We will be back tomorrow for the NFL edition. But until then, as always, may the odds be ever in your favor.